being said, Mike, your favorite topic is up on the deck. It's been trending all week long. They're on the 8-game winning streak. I think they're 14-2 in the month. It's your New York Knicks. Look at his face. The Knicks are third place. I wake up this morning. I get a text from Coach. He goes, Carl, I told you third was going to be our best. Ziggs, is this Knicks team for real? The buzz around New York is, people didn't believe in Brunson when they signed him. The Knicks couldn't get it done. Now they're playing defense. The Obi trade was bad. But the Knicks look like a hot ticket right now. And it's not even just because it's New York. It's actually the team playing well. So could the Knicks make it to the conference championship? They're the third best on record. They're the third best team in the East. Do you stand on that? Do you stand on your business?
For me, looking back, I think we had this conversation before the whole trade about where we felt the New York Knicks would place, right? And I think the consensus was that the Knicks could possibly get by Philadelphia, but run into trouble with the Bucks. That could correct me if I'm wrong. I definitely know for sure the Celtics was definitely a issue that we all agreed upon. Looking at this trade now afterwards. It's been a beautiful trade for us. You know what I mean? Looking back at it, it's been a wonderful trade. The Knicks, watching them, right up until like December, January, right before the trade, we were the worst defensive team in the league, at least one of. Now we're one of the best. You know what I'm saying? We're holding teams to a certain minimum in today's new NBA. OG is able to do things that RJ couldn't in the sense of being able to catch and shoot, depend on him to dribble, drive right or left. Um, and Carl, to your point, we was just having that conversation earlier today about Jalen Brunson, how a lot of people did not want him at first, and now you look, the conversation at one point was, who's better, who's the better point guard in the NBA and in the Eastern Conference, Tyrese Halliburton or Jalen Brunson. So I'm amazed at what we're doing. I definitely think that it's possible we could get to the conference finals, but I think that solely depends on as crazy as it sounds, if Mitchell Robinson can come back, because we need to
He's
see
so
what.
done, right?
No, there's a possibility that he could make it by
Mm.
playoff time, they were saying. So if we could get him to shore up our back end and see what OG's already doing on the perimeter, that would make us an even dangerous team out there. So I think that's a possibility. We just gotta keep our fingers crossed. Mike, don't be a hater.
One more thing, Zig, but as a resident Nick fan, and I was listening to the radio, they're
As
just
a
talking about
what?
how no, for what was Ziggy as the resident Nick fan,
Mm,
not me.
all
As Ziggy
right,
as the
all right,
resident Nick fan. I want
Wow,
to make that
that's
clear.
wow.
crazy.
Make that clear. Let's not get the lines blurred here. Ziggy
Okay.
as the resident Nick fan. Are you excited? Does it make you excited to know that basketball is back in New York? Like the Knicks are playing well. Like they're not
I
the
mean,
laughing stock
basketball
anymore.
have been back in New York. Let's stop that. I mean, once we went to the playoffs, don't let's not do that. We went to the playoffs with Julius Randle. I'm still holding on to that. That was right after COVID, so that was huge, especially for the city of New York.
Mhm.
But now are we like a legitimate not contend? Contender is such a big
But
word, but
but your
we
top
are.
three, you have to be stand on it, bro.
No,
Stand
I'm
on it.
not. No, no, no. Because they've been top three teams, and we was just talking about Orlando. We was just talking about Minnesota. They're top teams, and we've seen what's been happening. So no, I can't subscribe to that foolish notion. However, we are an upper echelon team. I'm gonna say that, and the record is proving it. We've been doing good. Kind of shame how they screwed us out of Jalen Brunson getting that All-Star starter spot. I'm sorry, Dame. I think you got that solely on name recognition. Um, but it is what it is. Yeah, so that's that.
Andres, are you impressed with the Knicks?
Yes and no.
That's crazy.
No, because I knew they were gonna be this good with OG. But yes, obviously because the records show it. When
Okay.
the we're not gonna do revisionist history. There was like a 75% group of Knicks fans that were talking about, oh, this is the worst trade ever. How are you gonna get rid of RJ Barrett? This and that. Carl, you preach to the choir all the time. The NBA is what? A business, right? The Knicks had to make a business decision. They got rid of RJ Barrett. They brought in one of the best perimeter forwards in the league. Yes, in the league. And now OG, now that he's mainstream, he's finally getting some recognition. Like Ziggy alluded to, the Knicks defense has been top three since the trade, and they've been on a remarkable run. They're holding opponents under 100 points in the NBA today, where if you don't score 100, your team sucks. We know that. And another thing I want to point out is the Jalen Brunson thing that Ziggy alluded to. When Jalen Brunson signed the extension, we don't have to do revisionist history. Everyone said it was an overpay, it was an overpay, it was an overpay. And now it's looking like a steal. legit a steal. Every single year, if you look at the numbers, his salary decreases every single year. That's unheard of for a player of his caliber. So all the NBA experts that they put a microphone in front of their face and they think they know what they're talking about RJ Barrett and OG, that there's nothing more to say. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say real quick, RJ Barrett, there's no shot he signs an extension in Toronto. I think the Raptors are gonna use him as another trade piece if he takes another leap, but the Raptors right now, they're sleeping well. You know, they're not playing for the play-in or anything. They're looking for a pick. Meanwhile, the Knicks look like they're flying. So I feel like we clown the Knicks a lot, right? But how are you gonna tell a Knicks fan how to feel? You know what I mean? If they want to talk about how good they are right now, let them talk their shit, man. Like, enough with being miserable. Like, the NBA has become a sport where fans are miserable. Like, we see Embiid dropping 50 points, miserable. Steph had 38 last night against the Sixers, miserable. Like, everyone is miserable. Tyrese Halliburton has 30 and 15. Oh, it's because of the way the Rick Carlisle offense is. Jason Tatum has 40. Oh, can he do it against the Wizards on a Tuesday night? Like, dude, enough with being miserable, man. If Knicks fans want to be, if fans of NBA want to be happy for their team, let them be happy, man. Enough.
Stand on your business. Mike, are you impressed with the Knicks objectively?
Why are you asking me objectively?
Because
are you assuming that are you assuming that I will be subjective and decide not to like the Knicks just for the sake of the fact that you see this say, "Hey, sirs, we hit you"? Is that why you're asking me that, sir?
I've just had years of history of knowing you and debating you and talking sports.
When was the last time you heard me say anything negative about the Knicks? It's been a while.
A couple weeks ago.
Be back. Be back. First of all, we're gonna test just how good you are tomorrow. We're gonna test it. We'll see just how good that. You know, we've been killing streaks lately. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna see just how good this streak is tomorrow night, baby. But I mean, I was trying to quickly look at the teams that I know you spanked up Utah, but who were the teams? Can y'all tell me who the teams the Knicks beat? I don't know all of the teams. I know some of them.
They beat the Heat.
Who cares?
She said, "Who cares?"
Who cares? The Heat stink. Andres, I love you, but we all know. We know what's going to happen. This is going down. I was trying to look quickly at the 8-game winning streak.
They beat the Nuggets too. They beat the Nuggets.
Yeah, we beat
They spanked the Nuggets, and that was crazy. So without looking into it, again, the trade was going to help. We knew that it was going to shore up their defense, and it was going to help that team. Now, what's going to be interesting is come playoffs, because they're a solidified playoff team. When you ask the question about conference finals, okay, you have one dominant scorer. You got 1.5 dominant scorer. Julius Randle has shown us he's sometimey in the playoffs. Jalen Brunson, I can guarantee that. So your question is that the guy? Because when you say this is a great trade or this was a great free agent signing, great depends on what the expectation was. So Charles Barkley the other day said this was one of the greatest free agent signings ever. And Kenny looked at him and said, what about Shaq going to the Lakers?
I remember that. He did say that. Yeah.
So we got to slow down. It was great from the standpoint of expectations, to Andres' point. Everybody thought they overpaid by getting him. So it's great there. But as your game changes, so do the expectations. So your third place, what are the actual expectations for the Knicks? Is it going to be a little engine that could now, and we're just going to celebrate whatever the Knicks do? Or are we going to hold the Knicks to a standard of like, hey, this is a legit contender? And if so, then we do get to ask those questions on if Jalen Brunson can lead you to a championship. I know NBA culture, we skip to the playoffs with certain teams, but I'm just throwing that out there now.
No,
but overall, of course, it's impressive. You're on an 8-game win streak.